Hey guys, per usual, everything on this channel is for educational purposes only and is not intended as financial advice. So it's been a minute, but I'm back. The other day I asked, why is Bitcoin going up? I don't really know what's going on. Honestly, all the TA is going to be kind of meaningless because as long as there's a one-way street on Bitfinex and it's just going to pull the entire market up with it, we're just going to keep going up until USD withdrawals are brought back to Bitfinex, which may never occur. Kind of scary to think about, but it may never occur. Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe Bitfinex will just permanently have this $100 plus premium because of that reason. So most of you thought it was Bitfinex premium of the 362 who voted. Thank you. I agree with you. I don't think this is organic. It has to do with halving or anything like that. Halving certainly helps, but there's really nothing else going on. I mean, the block size debate is still going on. We also have this ant bleed, which shouldn't be that big of a deal so long as you are a miner who fixes it with this and that works. I haven't tested it, so I don't know. I don't have an ant miner, but according to this write-up, which is really good, by the way, really excellent, the logo and the quick TLDR, they estimate 70% total mining equipment, which is a lot of the hash rate. I recently dropped this hot article on Bitcoin Magazine. Check that out. SEC brought back coin ETF from the dead for God knows why, but it's certainly not a bad thing. Whether anything will come of it's probably unlikely, but it's says that they're looking at it again. I mean, I don't know what brought that about really, other than lobbying and money, but cryptocurrency as a whole broke 30 billion. That's great. Finex knows. And then this really is the chart kind of everybody's looking at. The problem with this is we have not broken volume at all, even though we've essentially broken this level now. And I'll show you that today. That's concerning to me. Again, I just wrote an article on Brave New Coin, which basically says, bullish momentum just isn't there, but we keep going up. So it's got to catch up to us eventually here. I'll run through some other charts to show why that's the case, but this is a projected target somewhere around 1700 if you measure from the head to the neckline, and then from the neckline up. You can see when there's a large neckline like this, this is not the most conservative target, but it's one of the options. It's a round number. If we look at the MacDaddy pitchfork, which is the gold standard as far as I'm concerned, this is Bitstamp. Make sure it's in log scale. If you hit play, you can see we have stayed within this pitchfork. This has been buy zone. This has been sell zone. We are approaching sell zone, but we're not that close to it really. Certainly this diag or this diag, anything between there, and definitely if we exceed that diag, this zone, it's a heavy sell signal. That's a sell some of your cold wallet signal for me. And you always want to hold some, just because you never know, we might just go parabolic on God knows why. But if you're a trader, you're going to be selling some up here. If you're an investor, you're just going to be saying whatever. I'm just going to hold it. It's going to go to 1 million before I die. That'll be fine. So my background is biology, so brief rant. I kind of think of markets as this sort of equilibrium. So if you think of survival of the fittest, things just happen naturally, right? The weak die off, the strong survive. Unless an event occurs, unless there's a punctuation in the equilibrium, which I currently believe is the case with Bitfinex. So in punctuated equilibrium conditions, their supply and demand curves are all over the place. The Bitfinex supply is less than demand, which is elevated artificially based on the inability to withdraw USD. So all of that tells me, what I'm about to tell you in this video kind of doesn't matter. But it's certainly there. Everything still can be read as normal. The logic for entries and exits remains. You can see it's hard to argue with being at all-time highs, and there are plenty of patterns you can draw within here that plenty of people have talked about. If you use this as the neckline, you can see shoulder, head, shoulder, and that's starting to reach its target. If you use this whole thing as a cup and some sort of variation of a handle, you know, here, 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 or here, whatever you want to do, that target is way up here somewhere. If you draw the fibs out just from here to here, your fib extension, this 1618, is at 1800, so that's no surprise again on that target. So all this is viable, whether or not we hit that target. That's the first pit stop, certainly, but it's there. That's a zone. That's a level. Matches the pitchfork as far as, you know, the high targets are concerned. Before we get pullback, you know, we haven't gotten consolidation like we did here or here on basically this whole area. So that more than anything kind of tells me we're due for some parabolic, because typically you'll get consolidation and then less consolidation and then less consolidation and then less consolidation and no consolidation and then just absolute insanity. And a way to see that would be over here. This happened rather quickly, but considering Bitcoin's history, you know, you had consolidation and then boom, and then consolidation, then boom. This is a bigger boom. It's just harder to see because it's on log scale. You know, if you look at it like this, off log, all this consolidation, excuse me, all this consolidation, and then boom. So it's certainly possible that we see something like that, you know, within the next few months, certainly within the year. I'd be expecting the parabolic, just the absolute insanity within the next 6 months, definitely. And landing at 2K at the end of the year would be awesome. The 2.618 is at 2800. It's not on here, but the pivot, the yearly R3 pivot, is at 1800 as well, so it's another reason for 1800 being that magic number. Alright, I just realized I had flux on, so hopefully that doesn't mess up the video, but I had people asking me to increase the scale, so I did that, and I changed the colors on the cloud. Hopefully the red-green colorblind people can see this okay on a bright white background. So here is the weekly, and the cloud itself isn't giving me any signals as far as entries or exits. All this has occurred way too quickly. You know, the Kumo breakout was here, so that was in October 2016. There's certainly no short entry signals. Everything else looks fine. We're pretty far away from the cloud, which is concerning for continuation, but it doesn't say reversal, certainly. The biggest thing I'm seeing here, let me just reverse these colors real quick. Biggest thing I'm seeing here on the daily is this C-clamp. You can see it's starting to form. We get this when price moves up really quickly. Kijun does not have a chance to catch up to price, and we kind of form an interim top here. The TK disequilibrium will be canceled out if price goes higher and higher, certainly, especially in a large thrust. But when I see the TK disequilibrium, that tells me sideways or down is more likely than continuation. Saying that, I also realize that Bitfinex shenanigans are going on, so it's hard to even consider going down right now. But this would be the target if things start to look bad, 1106. And we can even get some sort of shoulder head shoulder situation here. You'd see that better on lower time frames, but you know, a drop to 1170 first, a pull up to 1220, and then a final resolution between 1100 and 1034, something like this. I don't know, something like that, but that would not be congruent with the current market conditions. So that possibility's there, but I doubt it'll happen. But anyway, when I see this TK disequilibrium, it doesn't mean I want to go long, definitely. And you can see that here on this, this was before the Bitfinex hack. There's a TK disequilibrium as well on the daily. There's a TK disequilibrium here. It also works on the other way around. You know, there's a giant TK disequilibrium here. Price was way just off kilter with everything, which is a good reason that it pulled up. So you can see this on any time frame, but when it's this large, this is probably the largest I've seen, and I tried to measure a bunch of them, but based on percentage, it's not that big. It's 11%. But based on just USD, it's 130 bucks. Makes sense that it's higher at a higher price point, but that's there. I'm looking at that. I'm seeing that. I have no longs or shorts open right now anywhere, but I'm in coin certainly. If I get on the 4-hour cloud, biggest thing with 4-hour that I noticed is the TK cross here that occurred above the cloud was amazing and has been amazing. It's cloud looks pretty great when all you do is go in one direction. So it's no surprise that the signal was excellent considering what's been happening. And again, there's no long or short entry signals here. There's again a TK disequilibrium, C-clamp business going on, which says down, over, up at the moment. Go to the hourly. Again, TK cross looks great, looks amazing. And bids on Kijun with all this stuff is certainly viable. Daily bids at 1100. You know, if you want to do sniper wick bids at Kijun, just this whole run up, you can really never go wrong with that. I mean, you might catch some knives down like when stuff like this happens, but whatever. It's going to be bouncier at this level than it will be death like this. And really, perhaps the best time frame currently to look at is the 30-minute. I really like when everything looks like this. People always ask me, which time frame should I watch? I try to look for stuff that looks like this because you can see price is hugging the TK lines. The TK lines are hugging the cloud. The TK cross did not burn you. It didn't happen too slowly. It happened in a really excellent place. You know, so this is your long, and this is your long open based on the TK crosses and price above cloud, and then this is your long close based on the TK cross. And your long reopen would be not here yet because the TK cross wasn't bullish. So your open would have been somewhere in here. You would have closed and then reopened based on this, depending on if you're watching it. So again, all this is telling me you should still be long, even though the TK cross has not happened yet. So you may get burned on this time frame. Point is, the 30-minute right now looks really good for TK cross recross. So you should be looking for a re-entry here. And let's just run through Heikin Ashi and 5200 real quick. So on the daily, there's no threat of anything happening here as far as that's concerned. Just curious on the weekly. So this would be the ultimate doom scenario, hitting the 200 on the weekly. So we go to the 4-hour again. Entry signal is all the way down here, April 5th. Hourly, April 17th. 30-minute. This will probably be pretty noisy and not too useful. But again, April 17th, you get a nice bounce on the 200 here. So all this looks good for more up. Your target for down would be 1281, just based on this time frame. And then just moving to Heikin Ashi real quick. Kind of noisy here. Again, what I'm looking for is a flip in red to green, green to red. Go to the hourly. Still kind of noisy. I really like the 4-hour usually. So you can see red, 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 green, green, green. So this will be your entry signal here. You know the trend's bullish already, so you're looking for bullish re-entry. And let's just see how that matches up with the cloud. So red, red or sideways, green, green, green with TK cross. Okay, excellent entry. And then all this occurred a little too quickly for this time frame's cloud to match the Heikin Ashi. But again, red, red, green, green, green says go. So now we're in sort of a sideways. We had 2 red candles. So this is completely arbitrary, but 3 green candles in a row with size that break all-time high levels would be great as far as an entry signal on the 4-hour. That's really all I have for today, but market's kind of insane. We're going up, but I really don't know for how long, and that's a really dangerous place to be. When you want it, when you see all this, you know, potentially parabolic moves happening, you want to be on leverage, but that means you want to take more risk, and you're going to end up getting burned some of the time. And that's kind of where I feel like we are right now. something's gonna. The ant bleed stuff didn't really do anything to price at all. The SEC stuff, whatever, you know. So there's a bunch of like news. It's kind of like a wash. It just doesn't matter considering where Bitfinex is right now. It's just crazy that Bitfinex has that pull on price, that I consider it to have a pull on price. Alright, as usual, hit me up on Twitter, Telegram. Like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe, donate. Love the donations, thank you, and happy trading.